Now,
I just wanted to do it.
now I wanted to shoot you this about Dr. Dre because I've been hearing about him for about like 20-something years, and it's about him like allegedly not producing. Now, can you break down the difference between a producer and a beat maker?
Actually, I was having this conversation with somebody just the other day. This is what it is. Dre is one of the baddest producers. Get the fuck out of here. That shit's some bullshit, okay? But he do get assisted. And therein lies what people, splits and quarters and all of that other shit is. But at the end of the day, he puts on the final touches because, like, remember when they had High Powered over at Rufus, for instance, right? Him and Yellow Boy, right?
Right.
Yellow Boy came up with a lot of those skits. And then, to be honest with you, Dirtbag Donovan came up with a lot of that because he was the engineer, but Donovan was helping them really because he came from the rock world. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you his origins from, because I did that Juice album, remember, with Lonzo on Crew Cut. And then you can see him now growing when he did the Michelle A. And before you turn off the lights, you can see he's getting better at syncing, but it was always something, even when I picked that Juice album, because I didn't know Lonzo or Dre or none of them niggas from Adam when I went in there and got that job that day. Remember I told y'all about it? And I just listened to the Juice, and I liked it, that Juice record, you know? It was just something about the way he was blending those beats that I had never really heard before, and it had this musical touch, because remember, I'm around musicians at first when I first get a kid. I'm around the bars. I'm now around Prince and Rick James and all of these musicians and George Clinton and all of those cats, okay? So Babyface and all of them, I'm around them. You see what I'm saying? So Dre, first of all, is special, okay? If Dre really puts his heart into something like the DLC, the Michelle A. album, the Snoop album, his first Chronic album, I went around, Kevin had the second Chronic album. You know, I didn't bounce on the business, but that's just bullshit. The way that Dre layers, Dre stacks like a actual real old school R&B, James Brown meets the Bars, meets Marvin Gaye. If you really look at how the Isley Brothers meets what's his name, Larry Graham, meets Sly the Family Stone. You see what I'm saying? The way that motherfucker stack his shit, the way that he mix his shit, the way that he EQ that shit. Can't nobody else do that shit but Dre like that. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I hear people talking about he stole this and he stole that. Man, maybe he took the idea from my folks, because niggas do that all the time. I'm sorry. And then I remember I used to hear from rappers back in the 80s and 90s talking about somebody took their idea, and it's somebody that's to beat your ass out with the sample. Nigga, you niggas done took the shit from other records. Fuck y'all talking about now. You want to talk about somebody stealing your shit. So a lot of that stuff was semantics. It's semantics. You know,
right?
Yes,
wordplay.
Yeah, it is. It's semantics. Yes, cocaine and above the law, them niggas did create G-Funk. That's why they had that issue with Warren G and all of those niggas. That is a fact, okay? But Dre will take somebody's style, or he'll see something in what they're doing, and then he will do something to it. I can't explain it. You see what I'm saying? So then you now go into like what they would say when you like fashion, right? In order not to be sued for copyright in fashion, you got to have three distinctual things that don't look like this. I'll give you a great example. I always explain this to people. Remember the K-Swifts and the Adidas. Adidas can't sue K-Swift because they got 5 stripes, right? Adidas got 2, right? Oh, they got 6 stripes. Those 3 stripes made it where you can't be sued. So, and what I'm saying to you is this. Most things that you think of, and I don't give a fuck what it is, rather it be technology, because I come from Silicon Valley going to San Jose State, rather it be music, Let it just be ideas. If you think of something, at that moment you think of something and it's not out there, I guarantee you probably 100 people then after you think of it per day think of that same thing. Now it's going to be the first person that put that shit out is going to beat everybody to the punch. That's why, remember, you got to go do search when you're looking for names, when you go do patents, when you coming up with a name for a company, you got to go down to your office, like we got the one up there in Norwalk. Well, you got to go look to see if anybody got that motherfucking name on that old school microfilm. You understand what I'm saying? Before you even come up with the name of your motherfucking business before you even register.
Yeah, Doug, that's real talk, because I want to say, and anybody can check me, on YouTube, whatever, if I'm wrong, but I think this is what happened with Black Label, the clothing company, because Black Label ended up going out a few years back because it was actually, I believe, a skateboard company that had trademarked the name in 1991. And, and then the label, and then, of course, the clothing label resurfaced in the late 2000s. But then when they, of course, the copyright, they hadn't cleared that copyright in terms of the name, and then they had to close shop.
Right. So, and what I'm saying to you is, okay, it's so funny when you talking about this is the example I was explaining to somebody else is like the Bladen was going to be a so-called rip, but Dre was halfway out the door, was going to be the Tupac album. At first they was going to front like he did most of the production. We all know Daz did that damn production, with the exception of California Love. He was probably going to go in there and tweak some of the stuff, mix some of the stuff, but for the most part, Daz did that fucking California Love. I mean that All Eyes on Me. You see what I'm saying? And it just sometimes in order to get in, niggas gonna steal your shit. Puffy and them niggas do that shit all the time. Claim that they produce something, they ain't produce shit. Well, that's the truth.
Like got my mind made up, a bitches as a rider, scandalous. That's what it's on. Major work for that album.
Yeah, that's quick, and I guess that was fucking, Quick did some shit, and then when Pop came home, niggas was giving them all the best beats and songs. If you had a motherfucking shit that was gonna be a hit for you, not no more, nigga. Everything had to go to Pop. That's what happened. The niggas will tell you that's what happened. But some of that stuff is, you get in the door. Like, after years, I wasn't mad at Georgia. Georgia got me in the door. Nigga, how the fuck I'm here a week? I'm in Jackson's house. You see what I'm saying? That was me getting in the door, So after a while, when you mature and when you start seeing, if this wouldn't happen, that wouldn't happen. You see what I'm saying? So, certain things you got to just keep